if you could go back in time and give your younger self advice that you're like, damn, I wish I knew that then. I wish I knew this then. What would you go back to your younger self and tell yourself?
I would, for females or women in general, this could apply to maybe men, but I wouldn't have focused so much on my love relationships because I feel like I should have focused on my career in my 20s, that rather than being like, my boyfriend needs me. Like, I wish I focused on myself more in my 20s, and also that I made career choices for my 20s, because I didn't move to New York until I was 30, just because I was in a long-term relationship that really wasn't great, didn't care about me whatsoever, that I felt like I just wasted my potential because of that. That I feel like for females, it's like, just focus on your career. At least you get a good, effective outcome. Like, you can't control relationships. You can't make someone like you, but you can actually control a little bit of your career.
Yeah,
you can improve.
I've had similar thoughts of that as well. Like reflecting back on the past like few years of my life, I consider myself someone who's like a little bit of a love addict, I guess you could say. Like, I'm kind of like, throughout my years of being in, I've had a lot of relationships and long-term relationships where I've lived with guys and then we broke up. And I remember having similar thoughts like that as well, where it's like, why am I so invested in this relationship? Not that that's a bad thing. Like, it's good to have a good quality relationship.
Yeah.
But it felt like a lot of my self-worth seemed to be like desperately attached to how this relationship was going. Like, are they attracted to me? Like, is he romantic with me? Why didn't he get me flowers? Like, those types of questions, you know? And I agree. Like, I'm in a long-term relationship right now. And sometimes I feel like, man, I need to like be myself in this relationship, if that makes sense. You know what I mean? Like, I need to learn how to like back off and just like be single in a relationship, if that's even possible, if that makes sense, you know?
No, well, I got sober, and then when I started dating my husband Joe, I felt like it was the first time that I made a conscious decision that I was going to do the stuff that I wanted to do and be respectful in the relationship, but I didn't put emphasis on making that person happy. I put more emphasis on making myself happy, because like there would be times in my 20s being like, I guess I got to go watch football all Sunday because that's what he likes to do. When in actuality, he probably didn't give a shit if I was there, and I could have been working on something else. And I don't even like football. Yeah. But it's just like one of those things. Like, I didn't get tools for a relationship that I didn't know that. I thought like I would lose him if I didn't hang out or something, when I think I did a disservice to myself and that relationship. And then also like, I can have a relationship in the city that I was supposed to be in.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I have that. I totally can relate to what you're saying right now. Like, I'm like still in the thick of that. Like myself, like I have like that anxious attachment style that like I want to work on myself, but I'm afraid to even like get out of the house sometimes because I'm like so attached to my relationship, and which is not good. Like, I need to do something about that.
No, it's really odd. Like, I remember being 30 and being like, that's when I moved here and I broke up with that guy. And I had that actual fear of being like, oh my God, I'm not even married. I'm in my 30s, and now I'm like 30s. And I'm like, that is such a ridiculous perspective, but it really held me back for so long, because it's just like these weird external things that you put on yourself that are arbitrary that you don't need to live by.
Yeah, for me, there is like a shame factor with it, because I'm like, everybody in my family's married with kids. So like, I feel like this kind of like pressure that I'm like not keeping up with the Joneses or whatever, how you want to call it, where it's like, shit, I'm 30 something years old. So now like at this age, every relationship I'm in feels like I've got to get this one right, because if I don't get this one right, like my eggs will rot. Like, you know what I mean? Like,
yeah, but then you start making like rash decisions, and it's not like good for yourself, that you're like, I just feel like for a lot of us, it's just like, you know, do what you can do, keep your side of the street clean, and then like, good things will happen.